There's a debater channel in Norton, Massachusetts. It's 58 degrees at 6:30 a.m. Good morning, everybody. It's time now for the morning news. The stories of Thursday, June 30th, 2026. Hey, good morning, y'all. This lovely Tuesday morning, June 30th, 2026. It's 6:30 a.m. and the Norton temperature is standing at 62 degrees in podcast, guys. Here are the nines. Supreme Court's decision on Trump's powers. One big win and three defeats for Trump in dramatic day at Supreme Court. U.S. and Iran offer conflicted plans for Doha talks. Ukrainian oligarchs reportedly injured in Monaco blast. Identities released of three firefighters who died responding to Knowles fire in Colorado. North Shore beaches shellfish and closing as sewer breaks and wastewater in the Merrimack River. Trump's Great American State Fair is a fabulous flop. Medicare will start covering obesity drugs for the first time. Bitcoin plunges your low price as crypto winter descends. South Korean stocks had a nearly 1% higher Tuesday, led by gains in technology shares as investors watched for a possible resumption of U.S.-Iran talks and Canada aid to ease tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. South Korean Ukrainian FMs hold talks on bilateral ties and North Korean POWs. South Korea postpones plan to launch solid fuel-based rocket over safety concerns. DOJ sues Massachusetts renowned and in state tuition for non-citizens. Trump nominates acting Labor Chief Sutherland for secretary. A U.S. federal judge has sentenced exiled Chinese entrepreneur Gao Wengai to 30 years in prison for defrauding investors of more than $1 billion. Authorities regained control of North Carolina jail seized by inmates. The Archdiocese of San Francisco has reached a $395 million settlement with hundreds of survivors of clergy sexual abuse. Lawyers announced on Monday. A pending heat wave and an awaited water treatment plant in Ann Arbor have gone offline recently due to massive magnetic levels that led to the city to move from level 2 to level 3 drought restrictions. Displaced residents rated access and fire damage North Andover condos and nearly 2 months after a similar fire control effect of 34 unit condominium built enough to 80 displaced residents still. The Forest Family Fun Center in Taunton is skating rink is closing for good. Taunton firefighters save ducklings from storm drain. Developers withdraw plans for Brett Rock redevelopment project. Taylor stocks now up 306.63 at 52.82.74. S&P 586.41 at 74.40.43. And NASDAQ up 522.53 at 25.820.14. Top now for sports at 6:33. And World Cup soccer action it was. Last night, Brazil beat Japan 2-1. Paraguay beat Germany penalty kicks 2-1. And Morocco beat Netherlands in penalty kicks 2-1. And in Major League Baseball action at Chicago White Sox 8. Baltimore Orioles 2, Pittsburgh Pirates 11, Philly 7, Washington Nationals fall to the Boston Red Sox 6-3, Texas Rangers 6, Cleveland Guardians 3, Detroit Tigers 7, Yankees 3, it's the Toronto Blue Jays 2, New York Mets 1, Milwaukee Brewers 5, Cincinnati Reds 3, Chicago Cubs 3, Santa Padres 2, Minnesota Twins 5, Houston Astros 4, and the Miami Marlins 10, Colorado Rockies 7, Seattle Mariners 6, LA Angels 2, LA Dodgers 9, Athletics 4, and Arizona Diamondbacks 5, 7 Strikes 4. Morocco win should have nearly World Cup exit for the Dutch. RFA during the meet with Lakers and Kings. Paraguay stunned Germany and penalties after VAR drama. President back with dumps a 2-year, $40 million deal. Beasley Davis charged with the Philadelphia case and Mets biscuits leads a Little League over for the Jays. Peter Childers time 6:34. If you're leaving to work, make sure you have your keys and a manual let you read it. Let's take a look at the water traffic and trends to check. Beep beep. MBTA forward line trade 1906 5 a.m. from Forward Depot Stop 5 for the business basket between Freetown and South Station. West Line train 506 5 a.m. from Western Stop 5 for the business basket between Westburn and South Station. Train line train 704 4:59 a.m. from Forchmont 45 spotted. Forchmont 45 stop 10-20 minutes beyond schedule. And Providence Line train 806 5 10 a.m. from Providence stop 5 50 minutes basket between Camden Junction and South Station. And look at the Northwest and Byway, New England, Route 6. 10 o'clock, the limits open for Route 95 in downtown Providence, 185 eastbound also after Washington Bridge in downtown Providence, and 95 in the northbound side. It's back between 123 and 199, Route 140 in Foxborough stretch, and then 95 south also Route 4 in East Greenwich, Route 138 westbound side, also Newport Bridge, 24 at the northbound side. It's back to Route 79 in the Arizona stretch, and 24 spec up around Route 140 in Taunton, and then Hibbert between Route 27 in Buckland and Route 138, get Route 3 at the northbound side, back between Weymouth and Bridge Split, Route 138 at the northbound side, 7 go between Bridge Split and Needham, 7 expressway is back between the Quincy stretch and the Dorchester, Pike Eastbound side, is back between Redon and Framingham and at Newton Quarter, Pike West Middle, so the loader, but the stop also 7 also, count also good, Route 1, 7 Street, Chelsea to Charlestown, 93 7 go between Wilmington and Boston, Route 128 7 also between Littlefield and down to Wakefield. And then hit break is after the Burlington stretch after Route 3. Route 3 is back between Chelsea down to Millerica. Route 93. Route 2 is also after Route 190 and Leominster. Route 2 east also the Barbara stretch. Pike East also between Fairmont and the Newton Quarter. Pike West also the Westfield stretch. And today westbound side also Route 91 in Harvard area and Burr Parkway is back between Bridgeport stretch and 95. 7 also between Bridgeport down to Stafford and up and over the wing and highways all looking good. Peter Childers time 6:37, and it's time now for weather, and this is going to be really dangerously hot, as it's going to be real hot starting from Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday's going to be the worst, as the extreme heat watch has been upgraded to the excessive heat warning for all of 7 New England except for the south coast of Berkshires, and dangerous prolonged heat and the humidity Wednesday, Friday, Saturday with after the heat indexes at a negative 112-degree range with little relief in that, and peak heat Thursday and Friday. A cluster of scattered showers and few thunderstorms may work in the part of region very late today and tonight, and actually likely weekend with rain severe weather west throughout northeast west by the Canada realize low risk in the west Massachusetts and west northwest flow lot may bring low convective severe weather risk given the high Cape Red EML on Wednesday, Friday, but limited force and the cap may keep us mainly dry. Rain some severe weather potential might rain until Saturday, July 4th for the actual cold front. Dangerous, prolonged heated humidity Wednesday, Saturday with after the heat index in the 98 to 112-degree range with little relief at night. Peak of the heat Thursday and Friday. High confidence forecast and dangerous, prolonged heated humidity Wednesday, Saturday. That's continued to be supported by the NAEA situation level. We're stable, which indicates many parameters outside the models. Climatology, EFI, shift up tails, and also indicates both minimum maximum temperatures on the end of the outside of the models. Climatology, 925 pre-good. Thursday, Friday, the 28 Celsius, 30 Celsius degree range, and that's when we expect the rest of the extreme heat humidity. Today, we will be very warm with the humidity climate at 16 Celsius, 17 Celsius. We should see highs topping out in the upper 80s and the low mid-90s way from the south coast. The dangerous heat humidity starts on Wednesday when 8:52 climate up to 20 Celsius, 21 Celsius, and expect to reach the upper mid-low 90s. Away from the south coast and possibly upper 90s in a few spots. That's coming over the 2 points resident 70 plus. What was not a dangerous heat humidity. Heat index will rise between 90 and 108 degrees away from the south coast. And the worst of the heat and humidity will likely be in the Connecticut River Valley and Burbank valleys. The extreme heat and humidity peak on Thursday and Friday with 8:50 reach between 22 Celsius and 24 Celsius above. High temperature will be likely to be reached between 97 and 103 away from the south coast and the very localized. Sea breezes and the heat index will be reach dangerous levels in a 102, 113 degree range. Hill will remain hot, humid on Saturday, July 4th as well, while the maybe a few degrees lower than the Thursday. Friday, dangerous humidity may considerably be determined by a time of the cold front. Not only will be a dangerously prolonged heat wave, this will be a little relief at night. The low temperature will be only dropping in the middle 70s in most locations, 75, 88 degrees in the urban centers. In fact, possibly not drop to below 80 degrees during the peak of the heat humidity given it above. We have opted to upgrade most of our regions toward extreme heat more than Wednesday for Saturday, while some areas may technically not hit more than criteria until Thursday and May not on Saturday. Depending on time and the cold front, the overall message remains the same. We did a whole excessive heat watch long the effects and south coast of Massachusetts without. However, this area will still be experiencing dangerous heat humidity, but wanted to go with this more than where our cabinet was the highest center point. And the cluster scattered chance of few thunderstorms may work in the parts of the region very late today in the night. Activity likely weakening with main severe weather west northwest Pennsylvania will out at low risk in western Massachusetts and Connecticut. The average concern late today, especially tonight, is a short wave that will be dropping to the southeast in northwest will allow to develop the ring and fire and effective shear of 30-40 knots is favorable for this activity working in our region, but instability will be rapid marginal, so expect a cluster of weekly scattered showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms to impact part of the region of the greatest distance across western Massachusetts Connecticut with the overall severe weather effect that's still low given the limited instability of the region, but given the northeast flow a lot that lingering momentum cannot rule out a low probability for some severe weather in the western Massachusetts Connecticut have occurred to take your greatest risk for northwest of our region. West northwest will a lot may bring a low extent effective severe weather risk given a high Cape Bremen and East ML. Wednesday Friday, but limited forces keep us barely dry. Greatest risk for thunderstorm severe weather potential and may wait until Saturday, July 4th with the actual cold front. Anomalous humidity will result in very high instability across our region Wednesday for Friday. In addition, our Bremen EML and our northwest will elected as president of somehow get a few thunderstorms good, but could quickly become severe even during the overnight more than hours. I will log that will also the force and mid-level may keep this risk low, but it will still need to be watched. Greatest risk of convection and potential of severe weather may wait until Saturday, July 4th, when the cold front strength force arrives. Okay, forecast goes like this. Today, punch about before 8 a.m. Oh, we have an extreme heat warning effect from July 1st. From today and Wednesday to 8 p.m. Saturday. Dangerous hot conditions after the heated next values of 9 to 112 degrees effect to Wednesday for Saturday afternoon. Currently, Thursday, Friday will be in the west humidity, but regardless, this will be prolonged a dangerous heat wave. And this extreme heat warning includes all of the southern New England, except for the temperatures at the south of the coast of Massachusetts and Island, where the watch extreme heat watch remains in place. From today and Wednesday to 8 p.m. Saturday, the worst of the heat humidity looks to be Thursday and Friday. Heat-related loads is increased typically during the extreme heat and high humidity events. This will be a prolonged and dangerous heat wave with a little relief at night. Low temperature will only be dropping in the low to mid 70s. In fact, the urban heat out of the Boston will only see low temperature dropping to the upper 70 to 80 degrees. Drink plain food, stay in air conditioned movements, and sudden check with the relatives neighbors. Okay, forecast goes like this. Today, punch about for 80 bars. Most of the Saskatchewan 8 degrees common, given south on 5 to 9 miles in the morning. Tonight, check the shot times for May after 10 p.m. Mostly clouds cover at 69 degrees, up about 8 miles an hour, chest 30%. Wednesday, mostly set high about 93 the low, 72 degrees at 8 degrees, high at 99 degrees, up about 10 miles an hour for Thursday, set high about 97 low, 74 degrees, western about 69 miles an hour for Friday. Sunny and hot about 99 to 72 degrees, western about 5 to 9 miles per hour, because high at 28 miles per hour for Event State. Check the shot times for after 3 p.m. Mostly set high about 95 the low, 70 degrees, and western about 3 to 8 miles per hour, just 30%. Sunday, most of the high about 90, low 64 degrees. The cover given northwest about 6 miles per hour. Afternoon, for Monday, shots besides coming 86 degrees. The cover wind given eastbound 5 to 7 miles an hour. And the afternoon, just 30%. Right now, it is 62 degrees. And that's going to be it for our border report for this June 30th, 2026 on that Tuesday. Pierre J. Wiggins, have a good one and good day.